Joy, joy, joy. Welcome to Mission Ignited. I'm Swami Tirtho. Today, we're meeting Irina Shehovsov. She's the founder of Reclaim Your Life. Who doesn't like that? Let's reclaim our lives. She's a transformational coach, a #1 best-selling author of The Gift Inside. Inside Gift. It's his 12-step framework for healing unworthiness. There it is right there. And reclaiming your sense of self. So we're going to dive into that. She helps people move from emotional pain and feeling stuck to clarity, self-trust, and a life that actually feels like theirs again. She has a podcast, Single Parent Success Stories, and also Reclaim Your Life with Irina. What a coincidence. The name is your name. She shares practical tools to help others to live their dreams and grow from the inside out. And that's such a important priority. Welcome, Irina. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for sharing your mission that's been ignited. How did you come on your mission? What ignited your mission?
Becoming a single parent to a newborn and a 5-year-old and realizing living in that state of despair, not knowing how to move forward, waiting for somebody to come rescue me. But of course, nobody did. So I embarked on a journey of personal development and growth. But what contributed is me standing on a platform morning one day, every day feeling closer, rushing closer to my death, where I didn't feel like I was living. And then right then and there, I decided there must be more to this thing called life. So I decided to be happy again. I didn't know how or what, but I wanted to find out what it was. So that's how it started. And then I got inspired by Evan Carmichael, who said there is not enough belief in this world today and you should help somebody a step behind you. This was in 2019. And in 2020, I started my journey. I wanted to help women like myself who have lost their identity, who didn't know who they are outside of being a mom and someone else's spouse.
That's beautiful, what you did for yourself and what you're doing for others when you decided, I'll be happy again. I think people would be interested to know what happened the next step. You said, oh, I want to be happy again. Did you just get happy? Did you search for happiness?
I started looking at life differently. Instead of why this happened, what did I do to deserve it? I started asking, what is there for me to learn from this experience? And yes, I didn't become happy overnight, but little by little, I believe in holistic approach. So taking care of your physical, mental, emotional health, little by little doing things that bring you joy, that makes you feel whole. We all know how to make a perfect cup of tea or cup of coffee, if that is your way. We should also know what are the key ingredients that make us feel alive. And so little by little, I built out my framework, which I then documented in The Gift Inside, basically starting with physical health. So for myself, my very first step was simply taking morning walks. Nothing big, nothing crazy, just stepping over the threshold of your home and taking that first step. And then little by little other steps showed up. I believe you got to take the first step in order for the second step to appear. We don't know the whole thing, but if you take action, if you make that first little micro thing, then the journey will open up for you.
The takeaway point is little steps, always little steps, one little step, one foot in front of the other. No cutting corners, no jumping, no quantum jumping.
That comes later.
Yeah, right. But little by little.
Yes.
In the moment you said, I'm going to be happy, you had the thought, so you said, okay, I want to be happy. And then you said something about, I'm not going to basically feel sorry for myself anymore. Or I'm going to look at this in a different way. Did that thought just come to you, or was it a thought you chose to have?
I think I started reading books and attending seminars. And my first kind of mentor or people who I looked out for was Mel Robbins, and I love her 5 kind of rocket ship jump out of bed 5-second rule. And then Tony Robbins, I used the first hour of the day when I went on those walks, how I wanted my life to be. So I would first write it on a piece of paper without any boundaries, without any limitations, just what did I want my life to be? Because I didn't come here to suffer. Must be more to this thing called life. So I charted down what I wanted it to be. One of them was becoming a writer. Another one was speaking. Another one was singing. So this was in 2016 when I was going on those walks. And in 2022, I became a writer. And since then, I've written 7 books and currently working on my book number 8.
Okay.
And I also gotten a chance to speak at MIT in Boston last year.
Wow.
So my public speaking dream got to be realized as well. But of course, I didn't get there overnight. It was like a decade that happened.
Yeah.
First, you set the intention, you set things in motion, and then you still take little steps day-to-day basis. So I joined Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And
me
that
too.
maybe kind of helped me along the way. And then in 2020, I started a podcast, the Single Parent Success Stories podcast. And starting a podcast helped me realize my dream of becoming a writer, because one of the guests who came on the show was a publisher, and she invited me to be part of her book. This was in 2022. And I completely forgotten about that. I wanted to be a writer, kind of. I talked about it. And then miraculously, podcast led me into that. And when I started, I never had any intention. I just was inspired by a fellow masterminder. I was in Brandon Bouchard's mastermind, who had conversations with entrepreneurs. Said, "What a great idea! I want to speak with single parents who've been there, done that, without any knowledge of technical podcasting, marketing." Nothing like that. And that's how that started.
So that's awesome. I mean, again, I just want to summarize it because every step is so brilliantly simple. You said you were in sort of like a dark hour of the soul, and you said there's got to be more than that. And then the next thing that you said was, I have to see why this is happening for the good. You just said, let me look at a different reason instead of a victimhood, how it's beneficial to me. And then you started picking up books, and then that led you to seminars, and that got you to think more the positive thoughts, understanding the positive ways, and every little step, and then even your writing came to you. You forgot, you said, I want to be a writer, and at some point it came to you.
Yes.
So I think those are beautiful steps that anybody who's goes through a dark night of the soul, and I think many people do, and particularly these days, there's lots of challenges in the world. It's a beautiful story. Every step, nobody has to wonder, well, how did she do it? Because some people
have it right here.
That's it. If you want to know in details, hold that book up. It's called The Gift Inside, a #1 bestseller. Very good. Why do you feel so many people still feel stuck even after they've left a painful situation or they've done some work like you're doing?
I think the reason is, we go back to saber-tooth-tiger days, when some negative event occurred. I mean, we have a great system to respond to, when we're in a flight or fight. When something dangerous happens, we gotta be alert, first of all, to notice, and then get away from danger. But in the saber-tooth-tiger days, a gazelle could be grazing on some landscapes. And then the tiger comes, she notices, she runs away, she is safe. And the time duration, maybe 15 minutes passed. And she is back to normal, as if nothing happened, as if this didn't take place. And nowadays, what happens when we have a negative reaction, when we have a negative circumstance, we carry on the emotional baggage for years on end. It's as if it is our prized possession. And we start to kind of, explain and provide, explanation why something was done this way. And why does it matter? Yes, it took place. Nobody's saying it was good, but it was in the past. Why don't we leave it in the past? There is a good experiment I read somewhere. When a professor in college gave a student this task, imagine holding a brick for 2 minutes. Probably going to be fine. Nothing will happen. But what if you were to hold the same brick for half a day? You probably start noticing some heaviness in your arms, your posture. But what if you were to hold that same brick for duration of the whole day? Probably by the end of the day, The brick is gonna fall, your hands are gonna tremble, you're gonna be in so much strain and pain. And this was a physical object, this was a brick you were holding. Well, in our situation, we have that negative event that took place an hour ago, a decade ago, maybe 20 years ago, and you are still carrying all of that baggage today. And every time we speak about it, same parts of our brain light up. Because for our mind, for our brain, does not matter if an event took place a minute ago or 20 years ago. Everything comes alive. So we are like this masochist who walk around with a pain, and we talk and talk and talk and get ourselves sick, hoping someone else will get sick, our oppressors, but in the end of the day, we get sick because we carrying all that poison instead of letting it go. So I believe forgiveness is such a great practice to have, not once in a while, but every day, just like brushing teeth. Don't carry the mistakes, or not mistakes, but the quarrel you had with somebody today into a new day. Leave that quarrel behind, because on grand scheme of things, does it even matter? What are you trying to win? Just getting yourself aggravated and poisoned, and any person you meet that comes along you have that baggage behind you. They don't see it, but you snap at them. And they think it's because it's their fault, but meanwhile you were carrying all that baggage behind, that invisible baggage that you keep on carrying. So practice forgiveness on your day-to-day basis. Let this thing go, not for others, but for your own sake, that you can make an easier step forward into your future, so that your path will be lighter as you move forward.
Just summarize, somebody's been doing the work, but then they get stuck again. They've left the painful situation. They're saying, I'm better, I took this course. Why do they get stuck again?
One of the reasons, they keep the memory alive.
Okay.
Instead of creating something different. Yes, a negative event took place, but what do you want to create for the rest of your life? Because every day is an opportunity for us to create a new day.
Change your thoughts.
Change your thoughts. Let go. There are many great practices like meditation, like forgiveness, like gratitude, focusing on things that are working in our life, even when we are in a dark place. Sometimes it's very difficult to notice anything good when you are sitting in a bad place to see. But if we focus our mind on what is working, our mind will offer up different suggestions what else is working.
Right.
And it could be like breadcrumbs leading you out of a dark place.
Now you talk about invisible wounds. Would that be what causes people, another reason it causes people to get stuck again?
Yes, because they didn't let go. They kept the memory alive. They kept regurgitating the past. They kept focusing on the problem instead of focusing on the solution. They have absorbed the event that took place instead of being an observer of that event. And as an observer, looking around and seeing what is a positive lesson in this experience, even though it feels negative. But what is presently good here that I currently cannot see? I think, forgot his name.
Yeah.
That's where I learned it from.
You talk about your approach healing is through 4 key areas. Can you walk us through what actually that looks like in real life?
Yes. So I focus on holistic healing, which is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. I believe in small micro habits that we can implement on a day-to-day basis. So for physical health, it could be a morning routine. And I'm sharing in my book how you can do it. I'm not saying my way is the way. What I say is, in the morning, it doesn't matter when you wake up. What matters is how you wake up. We all know how to make a perfect cup of tea or coffee, but what we also should know what we can make to make a day perfect, to make a day feel good. Before we go and be other people for others, we have to be somebody for ourselves.
Right.
And then, nutrition. What do we put in our body? Because garbage in, garbage out. And you know that with Ayurveda, how important, what we put in our body is. And then wellness, movement. So that's kind of physical health. And then for emotional health, letting go of the past, practicing forgiveness, meditation, gratitude. Being present, I think, is so important, because our life is so fast-paced. We're always rushing to the next thing. So we consciously need to slow down and observe the moment. Become present, maybe see a rainbow and take that in with your mental computer. And I call it. Then for mental health, letting go of the past pains and hurts, becoming free from victimhood. Stop seeing yourself as a victim. Start seeing yourself as an observer of events, a vessel having a human experience. You're just a chapter. This was just a chapter, that negative event that took place. It's not your whole life story, and you still hold the pen on what comes next. You are the author, and you get to write it. And then serving others is another great tool. Sometimes we cannot help ourselves, but what if we can help somebody else in something that we do every day that we don't even think about, and for someone else it could be a great deal.
Right.
What is your gift, and how you share it with others? And then choosing to be happy. We get to decide. We cannot decide what happens, what kind of events happen, but we are responsible for our emotions and what we get to experience, because it takes the same amount of effort, the same amount of energy to be angry, miserable, upset, or joyous, happy, excited. I'm not saying having rainbows and unicorns all the time, but we get to decide the level of happiness we get to have. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. We have the present, and being present to our day, practicing what sets our soul on fire. I'm a great believer in hobbies. In hobbies, I believe we discover little pieces of ourselves we didn't know we had. For myself, one of my hobbies is singing. And I do that every day, and it helps me become joyous and excited for the day. And it could be a great reset mechanism, or something you look forward to throughout your day. Maybe it's Pilates, maybe it's going out for a walk, maybe it's baking or performing some art masterpieces. Any of those things could reignite your soul, and it could enliven you to become aware of your life and create something beautiful.
Wonderful.
So those are some of the points that I share in the four steps.
Well, that's really good. Thanks for sharing that. Everybody can now have a sense of that it's holistic, that they have to look in 4 areas of life, all areas of life. So the first step in reclaiming themselves, their lives, is a little bit of each of those 4 areas.
Yes, yeah. Starting small again with small steps. You don't need to implement everything at once. For myself, how it unfolded, it started with a morning walk, and then other pieces kind of were added on top once you take that first step.
And every positive step compounds. Everything gets, the positive grows in your life. It's like planting a seed and watering it and fertilizing it. It grows. It doesn't just stay there and do well. It grows and produces fruit or flowers or vegetables.
Yes.
Do you have like a 5-year plan or vision or a calling or whatever you call it? What's your dream life look like in 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Or you're just taking small steps and you'll figure it out when you get there?
One, I call it, I have creating Reclaim Your Life centers across planet Earth, where people who lost hope in life can come and rejuvenate themselves.
Beautiful.
Having holistic alternative medicine practitioners on site so that they can heal people, whether they have loss of hope in life, whether they have any physical condition or any kind of thing that preventing them from pursuing their dreams. And also having on site different activities that people can do, like passions again, like a singing hall or an art studio or a coffee shop, where people can heal their body, mind, and soul, experience what it is that brings them joy, with the idea that when they leave the center, they can go and follow their dream.
And they could sing in the coffee shop too.
They could.
All right. Your book again is called The Gift Inside. Your podcast is Reclaim Your Life podcast. I was on that podcast. I'll put all the links to both the Gift Inside book and the podcast in the show notes. Any last words you have to say to the audience?
Thank you so much for having me. And I love that you've created this podcast, Mission Ignited. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Irina. Continued success. And I look forward to seeing a map full of your centers all around the world.
All right.
Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. This is Swami Tirtha. Joy, joy, joy. Discover elevated hydration with the X2O light-infused water machine. It's your daily partner for cleaner water. It starts with an advanced two-stage filtration system. Next, X2O creates hydrogen-enriched water, which may optimize hydration at the cellular level. In layman's terms, it's helping water reach our body cells more effectively for better daily energy and recovery. Finally, patented light infusion technology adds antioxidant properties to support the body's natural defenses. It may help reduce oxidative stress and supports metabolism, nutrient absorption, bioelectrical activity, and energy levels. It builds muscle and enhances circulation for improved wellness and supports circulation for enhanced wellness and vitality. It's time to build a foundation of hydration, energy, and recovery to fuel you, your body, and your business. When your body is powered by light, energy flows, and everything comes to life. Share the light. LifeWave, the power of synergy.